Hi, it's Brandon from Arabian Night Armory. This is a reply video to a game theory, specifically the video for Assassinins Creed Valhalla, talking about dual wielding, and various other things about shields and realistic combat formations versus not realistic. I won't be the first person to have made a reply video. You can get other reply videos from Metatron, or Scholar Gladiatoria, or Shadowversity. There's a lot of HEMA practitioners that have YouTube channels, so feel free to check those out. But to start, the reason why I'm making my reply video is because out of all the people I listed, I am the only one who consistently has trained and fought with dual wielding. So that's the perspective I can bring. To start, reply to the idea that only one arm at a time can actually be effective in combat. It's just not true. You can have one arm grab your opponent, push, pull, grapple in some way, while the other hand is using a weapon to attack. So that's already an example, but there's also grappling moves. One example listed, actually, ironically, in that video in particular was an example of a dude using a sword and parrying dagger together to block a bigger weapon. So you can definitely do that. But the attack capabilities of having a sword in both hands is more so that you have different opportunities on respective sides of your opponent. So most people that I'll be fighting are going to have a sword and a shield. So the shield's presence is just providing a passive defense on that side. Realistically, I'm not going to get that hip, I'm not going to get that shoulder, I'm probably not going to get that side of their head, because it's just there, it's in the way. On the opposite side, their right side and my left side though, I have much more exposure to my opponent. I can throw a wrap shot, I can get that shoulder, I can clip the elbow, I can clip the hip socket, I can at least hit something. And realistically, the opportunities are going to change through the course of battle. Maybe your opponent drops his shield, suddenly picks up another weapon. Now the opportunities are going to be scattered a bit more. Or maybe you're fighting a guy who has a shield, you win. Next time you fight, he doesn't have a shield at all, but he has a pole arm. So yeah, having different kinds of opportunities is really what you're getting out of dual wielding. It's not a matter of you can attack at twice the speed as if you only had one-handed weapon. Functionally, I don't really like the way of fighting like that. If you swing a whole bunch of times, but you're not dedicating enough power to get like a definitive blow out of any of them, then it doesn't mean anything. I mean, I guess you can argue in a sports context you're getting points, but if none of your shots land, if you throw like 15 hits and only 12 land and 3 don't, versus like half of them do, half of them don't, like that's burning energy for nothing. But yeah, another point, so what can you get out of dual wielding axes in particular? Axes, the main advantage is not the beard. Most of them didn't have beards, so that's right out of the gate. But I would say that there's actually techniques in particular that the axe affords itself to. Regardless if it has a beard or not, it's still a blade protruding perpendicular to the stick haft. So one technique that they would do is they would throw a downward blow like this, right? But that downward blow wouldn't directly hit the leg. It would go around, hook, or not even hook rather, it would glance past most of the bone but only hit the tendon. They're slicing that Achilles tendon in the back, and that leg is effectively useless. So, you know, if you have paired axes, getting around to do shots that most people are not going to anticipate because they only have experience fighting like a sword or a club, that's something that you can accomplish. But combinations that are effective, obviously paired swords are good. In particular, for someone 5'10" to 6'2", 40 inches is basically your cap. You can kind of go up a little bit in length, but weapons are going to get clunky and smacked into each other mid-combo. It's not really worth it. But what you typically saw with dual wielding is rather than similar length weapons, you get different length weapons. In the East, you had Musashi. He had Katana Wakizashi. In the West, in various sword fighting manuals, you saw a rapier and dagger, or a side sword and a dagger, or even long sword and dagger. So, you know, having a one weapon being shorter is an advantage because you have different kinds of opportunities at different ranges. A further counter to MatPat's assertion that if you're dual wielding, only one arm can actually be effective in combat. If my opponent charges right at me and my shot misses in its arc, and either they pin my arm against me so I can't use that arm, or my shot continues, my hand glances past them, so the blade is hitting the air behind them, and they are in like awkward grappling distance. That's when the dagger becomes the kill shot. The sword can't effectively do anything pinned to my body nor extended past my opponent, but the dagger is right here. So this is, again, it's not a matter of you have twice as many opportunities. It's a matter of the kinds of opportunities you're getting are contextually different, which is why you're dual wielding. But yeah, that's the main basis of my response. I might make a continued response later. Anyways, subscribe.